Hey everybody, how's it going today? My name is John, and today I want to talk to you about risk management in your life. So, what exactly is risk management? Well, quite simply, usually you take it in a corporate context. So, in any corporation or organization, you will have what's called a enterprise risk management process. And so it addresses what is going to be a threat to the business. So, for example, if you have a bank, one of their main things will be like reputation is a risk. If the reputation sinks or the public does not see that bank or that particular financial institution as reputable, chances are their profits are going to tank, right? And so what you do is highlight that as a risk. Reputation is most certainly a risk in that context. And then what you do is you try to figure out ways to mitigate that risk. So how do you avoid that risk as much as possible? Well, you make sure that you're doing proper things in the proper way, making sure that you have audits so that no one's fudging the books. You make sure that your IT infrastructure is available so that customers can access their money 24 by 7. And so these are called compensating or mitigating controls. And so it kind of reduces the risk of having a bad reputation. So the same thing can be applied to life. So for example, you can have a financial risk. What happens if you lose your job? Well, in that case, there are multiple ways that you can look at it. This is why a lot of people recommend having an emergency fund. Just in case something bad happens in your life, well, now you have the funds necessary to take care of that problem. Whereas if you didn't have an emergency fund, ooh, it's going to be quite stressful on your life in the short term and maybe perhaps the medium to long term if it's quite a massive emergency. And so this is what we're talking about. So I would highlight 5 or 6 different items here. So I would highlight the financial risk. So making sure that your job or career is stable. And in the unlikely event that you lose your job or the company that you're working for goes under, you want to make sure that you have a plan in place just in case that happens. Yes, you want to have an emergency fund, but you could also think of maybe updating your resume every 3 to 6 months, making sure that's kept up to date, making sure that you're upskilling, always upskilling your talent, so that in the event that maybe that you do get laid off or something bad happens, now you can easily or hopefully easily transition into another company within the same skill set that you have. So I would say financial risk. Another one is health, making sure that you have good health, making sure that your diet is on point, making sure that you sleep well, and of course that you're exercising on a regular basis. Now, as we get older, we'll have more complications just because simply the body breaks down, right? However, we can do a lot of things to make sure that the body doesn't break down when we hit our 50s, 60s, 70s, and heck, even our 80s and 90s, right? We can live a long life, but we have to put in the work to make that, well, work. So diet, making sure that you're not putting on too many calories into your diet, making sure that any dietary restrictions that you follow to the T. And maybe you'll have a cheat day here and there, but more or less that's taken care of. Same thing with your sleep. If you're not getting 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep a day, things are going to kind of disintegrate over time. And of course, exercise. Now, depending on who you are and what your goals are, maybe running is a fantastic way to keep you in shape. Maybe you want to lift weights like I do to bulk up and get more muscle on the body. Anything that challenges you physically is going to help you in the long run. So that is more the health risk. Another one is relationships. Now, relationships kind of going on the what's called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I believe it's called. It's kind of more on the higher echelon of that pyramid, but it's still something that we need to think about and talk about. So, how are our relationships with our family? What about our friends? What about the broader community that we do have and that we're situated in? So making sure that we have healthy relationships that way. Otherwise, if we have one unhealthy relationship, ooh, it takes its toll on ourselves. It becomes more stress into our life. And so we want to make sure that we take care of that. And of course, on the very rare chance we might have enemies, or we may make enemies over time, and they can cause us harm as well. And I think another one that I thought about was reputation, like I said at the beginning of this video. Well, we also have a reputation, right? Do we have a reputation of doing good things, bad things? Do we have a reputation of integrity and character, or are we lying and cheating to get our way and cutting corners? Reputation means a lot in this day and age, and quite frankly, it's one of the things that is almost more valuable than gold at this point. Because if I am looking for someone to do business with, I want someone of a person of integrity and character. I don't care if they have money or not. If they have the integrity, I know that they will do a good job. Or if they don't, at least they'll be hopefully humble enough to accept criticism and then do a better job the next time. So looking at life and try to highlight the risks in our lives and then trying our best to mitigate those risks so that in the event that something bad happens, we now have a response on how to correct that. And I think that is very valuable in this day and age. So this is just a thought to consider. Once again, I tell you what I am doing. I don't advise people to do much, quite frankly, but I tell you what I'm doing in my life. And I will try my best to show those results. And it is up to you to determine whether those actions line up with those results and what you want to do about that, whether you want to pursue something similar or not. So anyways, those are my 2 cents for today. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next video. Bye.